That was weird. Normally, Zoom says recording in progress, but maybe I disarmed it, disabled it while trying to remove Otter AI. Ooh, I allowed it once someone to use that to record our meeting notes or podcast so they could have a transcript, and that thing got installed on mine and it wants to pop up everywhere. So, enough of that. Let go. Asteroid of fear. Welcome to Unfiltered Friday. Welcome to another episode of the Men of the House podcast. And if you only get one thing out of today, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So, if you have a significant other, make sure you stop, get some roses, get a card, something. And although they don't sponsor this show, but they're more than welcome to, I'm a fan of the Paired app. My wife and I use that. So, we haven't in a while, but we need to. All about communication. So make sure you tell your partner how much you love them. Get them something nice. I can remember there was a period in our relationship where more often than not, we actually worked on Valentine's Day, and then we would typically go out afterwards. But we always had this theme. I don't know why, but it just kind of ended up this way. I always feel like around Valentine's Day, kids had an extra day of school out or something. And we would go from Austin to Galveston, spend the weekend in Galveston, just her and I, and then go up and maybe get the kids and visit them or bring them. So, sorry, I just got a message there. I normally don't. Yeah, that threw me off. Prayed for it was a little job opportunity. Speaking of communication, all right, let's not get sidetracked by that. So remember, go get your partner something. Tell them how much you care. Do something special. Make a memory. Speaking of memories, when we first got together, and it was just her and I, and my friend Andrew moved to Dallas. Her and I were still living in New Braunfels. And this was when the iPods were like a thing. And me, being heavily into music, she asked me, did I want an iPod? One of the big ones, like the 800 whatever. And yeah, I had like 8 to 10,000 songs. It's a lot. A couple of hundred CD cases worth. She said, did you want an iPod or do you want to get tattoos? I said, let's get tattoos. So maybe Valentine's Day 2006 or 7. We both got tattoos. To date, that's the only tattoo she has. And for our, I think we had been together 6 years. She was the one that had some bits and pieces. And she, for our 6-year anniversary, paid me to get my sleeve done. And, it's kind of not like photographs. Some people collect photographs. Remember the old photo albums? All you people from the 1900s listening, you had to put the photo behind the little sticky page and arrange them a certain way. And now it's like, then your phone only had so much storage and you had to put them on like a external drive. Like I have a terabyte over here with from old phones. And then they came up with the cloud. I assume, I don't know, it makes me think that one day, like, everybody will just have their own cloud, their little stowaway, if you will, that has everything. And I'm sure that all your data, the government could access some barcode on it. They just scan and they log in with like a master password. Now in the government, probably be password one. And that always the reset. When you call IT. Yeah. So, what else are we going to talk about on Unfiltered Friday? Well, I wrote down a few things. I've been busy. It was a busy week. It was a long weekend. We had to go to town because we had a funeral on Monday. So, some travel involved. And of course, anytime, you know, the news surrounding death, it can be heavy. So it was a kind of heavy weekend. But my wife got to spend time with all the kids. I got to do a bunch of Doula stuff and hang out with the brother-in-law, and my nephew, and my sister-in-law cooked some steaks for us, and it was fun. Good. And the funeral was good too. It was a nice day at least, because she was carried from the viewing area to the cemetery, Veterans Memorial type cemetery, via horse-drawn carriage. So the weather was nice. It was good to see everyone. It was good service. And then started week 2 of becoming a death doula. The training, the class, the sprint, the 90-day sprint. Ugh. Put it to you this way, I was on 3 Zooms today. Uh, Busy, takes time. And when you throw life in there, and it seems like a lot. 90 days. You do. And then the roll up starts. Kind of like anything, right? You gotta establish the habit. About the time I get in the groove, see a little progress. We can move the needle 0 to 1. That's the hardest. But yeah, it kind of forced you to think a little bit. As you go through these lessons, you kind of have to put yourself in these situations. You learn about, let's say, shock, and you put yourself in a situation of, let's say, you're given a terminal diagnosis, pancreatic cancer. What do you need? What do you not need? What are your thoughts? Yeah, you really go there and understand why people don't like to, but we all have to at some point. And in one of today's meetings, we were talking about, I guess, how in different cultures, I don't know, maybe it was European cultures or something that's, I guess, like at 50, you're supposed to start downsizing, preparing your things, getting rid of things that you've accumulated. And then I guess too, I don't know if it was a certain culture, it was kind of understood that the youngest female child would take care of the parents and then get the house. Interesting. Then they mentioned something about a Swedish death cleaning. I'm assuming that's like a Marie Kondo for planning your death. I'm not sure much. The viewers and the listeners. But yeah, I turned 50 this year, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. It's basically what the universe is saying to me. You got to start thinking about this kind of stuff. And some of it I knew. We went over a lot of legal stuff today, whether it be financial planning, probate, um, yeah, trusts, all that kind of stuff. It's weird. I used to probably think about that more when I was younger. And, now that you turn 50, our youngest is 12, oldest is 22. It's almost like you want to think about it less because it's closer. Ooh, yeah. Hmm. But you're going to have to at some point. Yeah, I'll take you through it because I'm going through it right now. And it was interesting for, to kind of think that being on that bus at 7, and then how much death I've seen. Um, it's weird. I just thought today, death, preparing my life for this. But it comes for us all. So yeah, kind of sucks to think about. But that was the thing that kind of told me I had some unresolved anxiety. It's the thing I sought out therapy for. Once I realized, yet I'm going to choose a career to get closer to and become more familiar with it, more intimate with it. Almost like facing the biggest fear. Yes, 190 episodes in. Uh, fear of public speaking isn't it? Of course, I'm not standing in front of people, but I have done that. Perhaps I'll do it again someday. Um, which kind of leads into Chase Hughes released a video Wednesday, and I think it's the five truths. If you get a chance, watch it. It's good stuff. He talks about studying ancient texts and kind of, you know, they weren't leaving things out or trying to be mystical or whatever. It was just kind of all they knew. But it's like if you link up time periods, it's like each time period leads into the next. Like they left enough, whether it be knowledge and or resources, to move on to the next and evolve and evolve. But, really talked a lot about fear is not real. Whatever. Ego, yeah. Ego. We talked about kind of it's the ego. That's the thing that we fight most against. The thing that wants to feel special, wants significance, wants to be liked. Once you get rid of that, it's all gravy, baby. You can be like, I guess, your authentic self. Some of my notes were like, as a man, you'll remember caring for Buck and, what it must be like to be, you can't stand on your own. You can't do the things you once did. You can't go to the restroom on your own. You have to have somebody change you. You have to reveal everything. I mean, if I were to walk in on you naked right now, you cover up out of instinct. It feels unnatural. And then to have to make that your norm. But then you also get to a point where maybe you're changing them in parts and pick up any crumbs, and then you're making jokes. What else is there to do that's it's the reality, the rawness of life when you get to a certain point? Yeah, everybody runs around as if they're never going to get to that point, acting a fool, not being kind to one another, shitting on each other, figuratively. Ay, ay. As above, so below, love is the answer. That's why I'm choosing to go into the field. I don't think I'm choosing it, and it chose me. Silence is deafening. In one of my clinical Q&As this week, the instructor said something monumental. Something like, there's no need to speak unless it improves upon silence. Boom. Yeah. That'll hit you. Kind of turned out to be a little heavier than I thought. But so it goes. As is life. But I don't want to keep you guys too long. That is all I have. It's been a long week. Super tired. And I think we're all. My daughter was coughing last week, and between all the hugs and handshakes and change of barometric pressures, yeah, the Texas weather, it's 75 one day and 30 in the morning. So what do you do? That's why I'm in Crocs, shorts. Yeah. Okay. That's how we're rolling. But I just got back in the car. I don't croc in public usually. But for lounging, or stepping outside. Oh, yes. One thing before I do that. My cousin saw like a bobcat. Got it on video on the back porch. That's where the trash can is. And we walk the dog in the evening. A little alarming. However, we've had some deer in that area. So I'm guessing they're tracking the deer. But the one truth he kind of said that the only thing that bothered me was like you say like they're ambush predators and they can climb trees. So I feel like I kind of need to shine the trees before I take the dog out or when I take the trash out. Yeah. And maybe be brandishing a firearm. Just in case. Just in case. Welcome to living in the sticks. Yeah. Mm. Wow. Years ago, I might have been hunting that. But times have changed. Now we're taking pictures of a cat with an iPhone. Mm. And all your photos are in the cloud. I'm just right at the age I know what the cloud is. All right. Until next week, go out and be the person that you want. Hey, Joe.